It's Jennifer here from Belladonna's Botanicals. And I was thinking about this topic today, and I think this is one thing that's really important to think about right now. And this is protecting your own energy. And this is something I've been thinking about as I am navigating through the new hellscape of what is coming through the everything post-election in the United States, and how do we protect our energy? And I wanna talk about this a little 'cause I had to sit down and think about it, like, how am I protecting my energy? And the best like, for me, sometimes the best choice is just to not engage and to not allow harmful energies and people access to your energy, and I am perfectly 100% okay writing people off. Um, it is what it is, and I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, I'm protecting my energy. Um, and I'm giving myself the space and grace to feel my feelings and emotions. And at times they are irrational. At times, I have trouble because I have PTSD of staying present. It's easy to dip to talk about timeline shifting and new age jargon. But yeah, it's a lot of that shifts around for me at times in that I'm applying something from the past to something to the future, and the past is prologue and the future hasn't happened yet. How do I get back to center and stay present? And that is not an easy thing to navigate and be cognizant of at the same time. So what I'm saying here with feeling your feelings, processing them takes time. And I allow myself the space and grace to feel them and then figure out what to do from there. Because for me, holding them in becomes damaging to me. So these things are also, when you're talking about protecting your energy, this is also harm reduction. And sorry, making a note for myself. Um, that's part of this equation. And you're seeing more and more people are cutting off the Trump supporters from their lives and stuff like that, whether they're family, whether they're friends, whether they're colleagues. It's not always easy to do. And sometimes people are kind of stuck where they're stuck. But if you can, that's part of my protecting my energy. So, all told, since I started being more vocal about this, telling my story, sharing my thoughts on things across all my platforms, I have received, as of today, November 18th, 2024, 4 negative comments, um, of which 0 fucks are given. Um, what I have received is overwhelming support from so many people, and those comments are just 4 people not enjoying the show out of the thousands that are there. It is what it is. I'll make fun of them because I find joy in schadenfreude right now, but otherwise I choose not to engage because they're not worth my energy, and by not engaging, I'm protecting my energy. Um, one of the things I wanna say, because I think I talk about this in some of the previous videos that I've done, like, I've cut a lot of professional ties, I'm not gonna lie. I've worked with a lot of people over the years, and despite how things may have ended, some of those friendships and colleagueships or working relationships or professional associations, some of those were transactional, and some of them have been long since severed. I mean, some of those went away 3 or 4 years ago already. We all build our collectives with people who provide guidance, knowledge, access, and support. Of course, it's always funny if you step out of line, then someone's going to accuse you of riding coattails or using other people and for to clout chasing. I think that's the word it was. I'm like, I never kind of looked at those relationships or friendships. I run a business. I have a platform. Yes, some of those people were in the beginning helped elevate me, but I also honor that by elevating other people's voices. And I have other people I collaborate with, that sell products or services through Belladonna's Botanicals. I'm not just, out here not giving back. So, but, I appreciate those things for what they were. And it's okay to let go of things that no longer serve you. Like, even though I left the Become a Living God fold, a couple years ago, and I had some negative experiences surrounding that, I look at it now from 5 years down from, the 5-year perspective. I'm like, okay, those people came into my life for a reason. Again, sometimes people come into your life for a reason, and those are very transactional and short lived. And that's okay. It is what it is. But, I can allow for acknowledging that, some of those people, whether it was from that or also from my MLM essential oil cult back in the Young Living days, which was a little further back. That was like what, 2016, 17 maybe. Um, you know, those things also there were while they can be looked at as negatives, I do also see like it's not all bad. One of the things with PTSD is that you can end up in very black or white thinking about things. Same with autism spectrum. But I can look at that and say, okay, well, Young Living, doTERRA, MLM cults. That's also part of the anti-science, anti-vax rhetoric that you see that comes from a lot of that part of the wellness community is rife with that. But you know what? Their anti-science bullshit that led me to be like, you know what? I'm going to prove all you wrong. So I became a certified aromatherapist, and here I am. Started a business, all that. So sometimes positive things can come out of negative relationships and associations. I allow for that. And that's perfectly fine. Like I can look back and say, okay, yeah, I had a shitty experience, but this is, at the end of the day, this was part of my journey, you know? Um, so what I want to talk about are some ways to protect your energy. And based kind of on what I'm doing now, and this is an ongoing thing. But the first and foremost, don't engage with the haters, block, delete, and report if necessary. Cutting ties is harm reduction, and you're protecting your energy, and this is necessary for survival. So, those four people that left shitty comments, do I literally lose sleep over it or give a single fuck? Not really. Do I need them to like me? No. Do I even know who most of them are? They're people from the internet. Like, I'm okay with people not liking me. It's really no skin off my back. I mean, you can leave all the negative comments you want. I'm just going to, guess what? Delete, block, and report. So, and that goes across the platforms. And I'm not, creating a safe space bubble, echo chamber bubble. I'm protecting my energy. And you should too. And further ways you can protect your energy. Always seek to do better and learn a thing. And that is also elevating voices and elevating people around you. I talk a lot, I have people that I work with here in Belladonna's Botanicals, and I'm not looking at them as to, like they're riding my coattails or anything. I'm elevating them. I'm bringing them in because that's part of the process. That's part of paying it forward. And, we don't exist in a bubble. I mean, I look at different organizations and stuff like they all have other people that they're not, most aren't just one person, or they have their supporters or things like that. So, that's neither here nor there. But next would be hold space for yourself and others to feel what they're feeling, and that includes yourself, without judgment. And I am really struggling with being non-judgmental, but I'm learning to catch myself when I am being judgmental. And but holding space, what does that look like? We hear that sometimes. What does it mean to hold space for someone? When I was doing back in the day, when I was learning a thing and doing the work and, did a lot of like I wouldn't say social justice, but anti-racism training and, how to, navigate these intersectional spaces. Here's how you hold space for someone. You don't interject your "I think you should," or "Could you this or that?" No. You hold space, and all you need to do with that is be like, "I see you. I hear you. I acknowledge your pain, your sorrow, your" whatever that is. Even if this can also holding space can be joyful as well. It's not interjection, "Well, I think you should," or "You're being crazy," or whatever. It's like, "I hear you. I see you. I acknowledge what you're going through." That's it. That's how you hold space. And it's like, that's all I need. I just need someone to say, "Hey, Jen, I acknowledge the fact that you have PTSD. You're on the Affordable Care Act, and as someone with chronic illnesses, pain, autoimmune, you are concerned about losing your health care, which also includes my mental health care for therapy as well. I see you. I hear you. I acknowledge your pain." That's all I need. I don't need accolades. I don't need "It's gonna be okay," or "You have nothing to worry about," or, rubbing my nose and shit. Like, fuck off with that. All you need to do to hold space, say it again, "I see you. I hear you. I acknowledge your pain," or your whatever. That's it. There's no judgment, there's no opinion, and it's not easy to do. But when you do it, it is effective. I am here for you. That's holding space for someone. So, next, find joy whenever you feel overwhelming despair. So, that's one I've been trying to remind myself. When I start going down that rabbit hole of future projection worrying, I try to find something that will bring me joy in that moment. And it can be something small. Doesn't mean you're going out and buying a luxury handbag. It might be, okay, I'm going to listen to this song, or I'm going to talk to this friend, or I'm going to go, go do this thing. So sometimes it's just pivoting and reframing so that you don't get sucked under and overwhelmed. Yes, things are very tenuous right now, and there's so much going on the onslaught, and it's easy to become overwhelmed. But what we do to get out of that, and sometimes it's silly things. Like right now, I got to tell you, I am loving the Schadenfreude. That is my favorite thing right now. It's bringing me joy and life. Schadenfreude and caffeine. So these are in no particular order. The next would be love yourself first and foremost, and love others in your purview. Um, Am I gonna love people that are leaving shitty comments on my thing? No, I don't care. I nothing them. Like anonymous people on the internet not liking me, I don't care. I mean, if you're gonna hate me because I am not a racist, or I'm not transphobic, or I'm not a Nazi supporter, or alt-right, or anti-science, or else I'm kind of okay with that. Those are if you don't like me for those reasons, I am 100% okay with you not liking me because I'm not a racist. I can live with that. I mean, I'm disabled. I'm not gonna vote against my own interests, and I'm not going to that is something that kind of really helped me understand, like, when you are in those more whether you're medically fragile, as they say, or you're in a marginalized community. Yes, I am white and I have white privilege and I acknowledge that. But I also am disabled and on Affordable Care Act. And if that goes away, my life is going to get very bad very quickly. So I'm acknowledging that. And I'm not going to when people minimize that, it sucks. Like it just sucks. Like, oh, you don't have anything to worry about. I'm like, my autoimmune medications are $1,000 a month with insurance. I had to get on a copay program, but that still puts me on the hook for $3 to $4,000 a year for one medication. So again, we divert back to holding space. Highly recommended. And in all of this, I'm not letting the other people's hatred or, you know, I'm not letting the fear mongering take away my self love. because at the end of the day, that's what matters the most. You have to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of anyone else? Your families, your friends, your communities. You have to take care of yourself. And it's not easy. I mean, some of us don't have the option to divvy out some of the, self-care time, but it's a lot about when we're talking about communities, find your people, find your communities, and that's what it is. So, and on that note, accepting that some people will hate you for no reason and move on. Like, do you really need them to like you? No. Like I said, I'm okay with people not liking me. It gets easier when you get older, I guess, but, like, I just don't care, you know? I mean, why would I if I think that's the thing in all our years on being online and social media and all of that, is we've really concerned ourselves with other people's bullshit that really doesn't matter, and I think it's time to let that go. So the next on here is making plans for future endeavors, but while staying present. This is something I'm struggling with. So, what can I control right now? What can I anticipate? How can I take both into consideration without getting lost? Okay, right now, I have to front load, with the incoming tariff stuff. I have to anticipate that, all of my supplies are going to double in price. Now, that is going to create a lot of problems because my living expenses are what they are. So I'm going to have to think about that. So I'm front loading some of my um, supplies now when I don't need them. In I'm going to deal with, so I have a little bit of wiggle room with, as things, progress through the holidays into January and all of that. But also looking and going, you know what? If it comes down to paying my credit cards or being able to eat, I'll be late on my credit cards. I'm still gonna pay them, maybe just the minimum, but I'm gonna prioritize my health and well-being versus paying tax estimates or paying credit cards, you know? And this is something I think that I've woven throughout my structure over the past 5 years, is letting go of that which no longer serves you, and I think I've touched upon that in a few of the other bullet points here. But when things not everything needs to stay in your life forever. Not everyone needs to stay in your life forever. Some things are transactional, some things just run their course. Sometimes people change and evolve together and sometimes they don't. And it's hard to let go of things in that way, but sometimes it's crucial for survival and for protecting your own energy. Like, why am I going to drag along someone who's kicking and screaming that they hate me the entire time? Like, there's just no point in that. So, let go. And lastly, for me, I sleep well at night knowing I'm not a Nazi, and that's more than enough. Can't say that for some other people, but that's their thing. So, at the end of the day, it's there's and this is just a small list of ways to protect your energy on a mundane level. Because, as practitioners in spiritual people, as practitioners, our energy is sacred. I would much rather spend my energy, communing with spirit, doing ritual, whatever it may be. I would much rather do that for healing and making my life and the world a better place, as it were, than allowing those toxic people to pull me down, because that's all they're going to do. They're going to pull you down to where they are because they don't know how to elevate themselves. And I've seen this time and time again over the course of my life. Some people don't know, only know how to elevate themselves by putting other people down, by pushing them down. So being able to stand on your own without people constantly trying to push you under and pull you down in order to give themselves meaning and worth, you know. Anyways, I've been enjoying making these videos as I know there's a lot of new people to the spiritual awakening and various aspects of witchcraft and the occult. And I'm just trying to give some people some frameworks more on a philosophical and practical level before we get into, okay, here's how you hex a mofo. because some of these things are you need to take into consideration. So in order to do intense ritual work, you got to have your energy protected first. And sometimes that's going to be just through mundane BS. So, anyways, you know the outro by now. If you watch this channel, thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Be sure to follow us on social media, sign up for e-newsletter so you always know what's going on. And I love you all. Bye.